Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on Mindful. And this isn't your traditional episode. No, 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 no. This is going to be the final episode of Season 2. I hope you guys are all so excited for 1.14 as I am. And I'm recording this as I just got back from the Mindful Gala, and I wanted to show off my awesome awards. So I won the award for the best spawn house, for the best mindful episode, and the best mob farm. Now this is shared between myself and Anderman, and I won the best spawn house. That's pretty self-explanatory, this facility right here, and best mindful episode, which was episode number 1 of this series. If you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check that out. That's sort of the introductory episode that I made to get into this season. Now, today's episode is going to be quite a long one, and I hope you do stick around as we'll be taking a look at all of the projects that I worked on the server this season, seeing as though I was only really here for about a month before 1.14 comes out. This is a nice little look back at everything that we worked on. And starting here is my spawn base. Now, this place, I built this pretty much on the first couple of nights that I was on the server. And when I say nights, I mean like Minecraft nights. This used to be a birch forest, actually. The biome is currently birch forest. And we actually replaced all the birch, tore it all down, and put in oak. Now, you can actually see where the birch is still. I considered this to be Anderman's property, so I didn't really touch it. And this here is Anderman's place, for those of you who didn't know that. And I added this farm a little ways into building everything. And yeah, I haven't actually used it because I just ended up getting meat and some food from the community farms. And this is from one of my failed Elytra one night. Now, there's this button that Hungry put, and I put this sign that says, "I'm so tempted to press this button, you have no idea." And so this button was placed here. I don't know what it does, and we're going to click on it at the end of the episode today. What is going on here? This zombie has torn down the door, and is just sitting in the house now. Alright then, don't mind if I do. So moving on here, we have another project that I began to work on this season, and that was transforming the paths around spawn to make it more accessible for players to get around. And this here is the Mindful Gardens, or I guess, yeah, Mindful Gardens you could call them. And I worked on this with Hungry. And pretty much the first week on the server that I was here, I got to know Hungry. I spent some time with him and put this all together. He was working on this one night, and I just sort of said, "Hey, what are you up to?" And so I joined him and helped him out build this. Now, he did all of this back here, all of the paths, and that's his place down there. I haven't actually shown this off, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we worked on this together. Oh, look at that. You can see somebody came by with Frostwalker. There we go. We worked on this nice little pond and some swing sets and this little rock archway or path. I'm not too sure what you want to call it, but I put this together. And yeah, it was a nice little group effort between the two of us. I'm pretty pleased with how this whole thing turned out. And speaking of the Mindful Gardens, we have a clip I want to show you. We all got together just after the gala and put our items that we want to save for Season 3 into this shulker box. So let's have a look at that.
So there's one last thing we have to do before ending the season, and that is bring one amazing memorabilia item to this shulker box that is hard to reach. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys brought, but I brought Gerald in a bucket because he is alive. I'm gonna put him in this shulker box. So see you next season, my friend.
All right. Putting in my shield.
Question mark?
Yes. Question mark.
Maybe.
I'm putting in a dragon head.
Ooh. 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 Those things bark. Not bark.
putting my shield here.
Awesome.
And I am putting a sign called
What's-
Subtis Row in it.
Something everyone should do. I'm going to put in.
Well,
the
that's
most
why you're wearing this monkey suit.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, kangaroo.
Yeah. And I'm going to put in the most important item in all of Minecraft because you can never have too many crafting tables.
Awesome.
You're right.
I'm putting in my beautiful turtle Boop.
Boob?
Oh.
Boop.
Boop.
You have a turtle?
Yeah, so I have this stale feather that Hungry and I were punching each other with at the beginning of the season.
What makes it
Aw.
stale? Does it not taste good anymore?
It's stale because it's so sharp it kills you.
I think we're missing Diamond.
No, I don't
yeah.
have anything of value.
You can put something in. Don't
Yeah,
worry
you can
about it,
put
buddy.
in, Just,
You're
just
part
like
of
your
us.
boots. Your boots.
All right,
Like,
put me in there. I'm gonna be part next season.
We will
Um,
do our best to fit you in there.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll hold it open. You get in.
Oh God,
Crouch.
I'm trying.
I don't think you're gonna fit, buddy.
Oh,
Oh.
we'll try next season.
Right.
Okay.
Let's chop into bits. Then it'll fit in.
Oh, whoa! Hold up.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Oh man, those were good times. I'm heading over to the end right now. I'm going to the Enderman farm, which I both won an award for in the Mindful Gala, and worked on as sort of my next project after getting the Mindful Gardens all finished. Let's go ahead and check that out. And this was initially built by Anderman, who sort of put this all together in the beginning of the server. And initially, this Enderman farm was pretty straightforward. All it really consisted of was a killing chamber right around here where everybody seems to have spammed their subscribe advertisements. And so I've remodified this. I've modified this a whole bunch to now have a much more efficient version of the farm, which can be seen here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, immediately after I built that Enderman farm, I got my first Elytra wings, and then I went exploring. And I went exploring to my new place. Oh, that's interesting. We'll wake up right in front of the totem. I went exploring. I decided I was going to head off in a direction, try to find myself a place to build, even though I said I wasn't really going to this season. And I flew off into this direction here, and came across a nice plains biome where I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to build here. And this turned out to be where my mob farm is. Now, this mob farm sort of worked on between episodes, didn't really record myself doing it, but I actually built the mob farm itself in the 3rd episode. And once again, there's a playlist in the description if you have any interest in checking these out. But let's just turn it on because I'm pretty pleased with how this all went about right here. And it works off of Nembon's design, which is a flush mob farm, and it doesn't have spider spawns. And as you can see, there's nobody else online right now. But yeah, the mobs flush down, they fall into the hoppers, and their items get picked up, sent up these water elevators, which you should see in just a moment. There you go. Let's go up to the top, and then to a collection point, which we never really finished. This was sort of one of those projects that I really wanted to do, but I didn't really want to finish it, I suppose. I pretty much burnt myself out on this. I spent at least a week working on this, and yeah, like I said, just burnt myself out. But I never really had any projects like too big or grand, because 1.14 was expected to release at any time, so I never really got anywhere far. This is the furthest I got in terms of a project, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. So the next smaller, medium-sized project, I guess you could say, that I took on in the server was the Elytra Flight course. And these here are the rings to the Elytra Flight course, which travels all around spawn and the surrounding areas. And I competed with Justin on an Elytra sort of challenge to see who could get the fastest time. And the times were posted down in here. Seems like him and I were the only ones who really did it. But yeah, I got 44.22 seconds, and this was calculated with the frame rate on the videos that we put out. And so I did 44.22 seconds, he did 45.10, and this was one of the more well-received episodes, I think. It kind of inspired a lot of people to build their own Elytra courses, which I'm pretty happy with. It's a lot of fun. There's actually firework rockets in each of these. Let's see if we can get on top. And there's string to prevent mobs from spawning. So yeah, there's still some firework rockets in here. Now, this next episode that I worked on, the sort of project, wasn't really a project. It was more of a revenge / cleanup for a prank that got pulled on me, which was by Hungry. He put a couple hundred dogs in my base, and I retaliated by returning all the dogs to his place and filling his place with all the doggos. And it seems like now all those dogs have mysteriously disappeared. So I think there might either be a conspiracy going on, or he discarded of those dogs inhumanely. I'm not sure what the case was, but either way, Hungry, that's not okay. The fact that all your dogs just vanished, it really goes to show how irresponsible of a pet owner you actually are. Now, just after I worked on that episode, or maybe it was before, I don't recall exactly, but I helped out with Master Swirl. We worked on pranking Velo for showing off something of Swirl's in an episode of his that Swirl didn't really want anyone else to see. And so we pranked him by putting 1,000 signs all across his house. And most of them say subscribe to Master Swirl or some kind of joke on them. And they're plastered everywhere. They are just... It's ridiculous. I actually wrote a auto hotkey script which would just place the signs down for me so that I wouldn't have to type all of that in. But Master Swirl, actually, he went ahead and typed every single sign of his. Now, throughout this entire time, pretty much, I was working on the mob farm. And that, like I said, took me a couple of weeks to get finished. And right after that, I felt like I needed to record an episode of sorts. So let's head on into the end again and go to the Endgate Ring, which was a very ambitious project that I took on to build a ring around the end. And this was so players could access the end gateways a little bit easier, which I think, and still do, think is a very important part of pretty much any SMP. And in that episode, I pretty much just talked about how I think the end is neglected by players, and that seemed to be sort of a common opinion with most of the players that I talked to, is that the end is pretty neglected. Pretty much immediately after working on the end ring, I came to the Nether and got working with Ethix and Justin and pretty much everybody else working on finishing up the Nether Hub, which was a task taken on by Ethix earlier in the server. And so this was his little baby. It looks really fantastic, and I've actually mentioned a lot of my opinions and stuff on this, which I won't really go into in that episode. If you are interested in watching that, like I said, playlist is in the description. But yeah, pretty much I just talk about how I think this is a fantastic design. I worked on it with him, and I'm a big sucker for the color orange and gray, the two color combination, orange and gray, or even like blue and orange. Like, I like that sort of color, and so If you are a long-time subscriber, you'll remember the orange aesthetic to my channel I used to have. And a few days had passed between working on the hub and working on my own portal path, which is visible right now, as you can see. I like it. I don't think it really matches what my base style was going for, but you know what? I never really had a base necessarily in the server or this season. So, I mean, it's nice, but it's not like, you know, something that matches what I went for in terms of the build style. And there we go. We're now back at the shopping district. Not much has actually changed since the first episode I recorded back in the beginning of March. And this was added. This is very new. This is Master Swirl's Easter. What am I saying? Easter. It's actually Easter the day that I'm recording this. But this is his turtle shop. I guess I just looked at the eggs thinking it was Easter. Holy smokes. So he's got some inbreeding happening in his shop here, and that's pretty cool. I like how he's incorporated these two areas, an exterior and sort of an underwater part to his shop where the turtles can sort of swim around and have some fun. That's quite nice. I never actually got into turtles much when playing on the server, and I still don't really care for turtles, but maybe in season 4, season 3. Wow, season 4, that's a long ways away. But you know what? Actually, let's head on back to our base where I said we'd click the button that Hungry left for us. And I'm pretty sure it was Hungry because he kind of came to my place and asked me at one point if I had anything underneath my base that I cared about. And so I was like, what do you mean by that exactly? And he never really responded. Let's click this button. Let's see what happens. Seeing as though it is the end of the season, you know, we gotta click it. Okay, here we go. Wow, that's very impressive. Thank you so much, Hungry. Like, sincerely, thank you. That was very, very nice. Well, everyone, that's going to end it for this season. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I didn't get that many episodes done, but I promise in the next season I got some ideas for some projects lined up, and you know what? Just gonna have a blast. I'm gonna make some awesome videos, have some awesome collaborations with some other players, and I hope you join me. So without further ado, I just wanted to start off sort of where I started here at the portal. This is pretty much where I started the server. I came through this portal and I said hello to Lautner. He kind of gave me a tour around, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how everything has gone on this server for this season, and look forward to everything that'll happen in the next. We'll see you all in the next one.